o'clock. So tonight discussion is about what are required to be OEM. So we will discuss about DOE, POE, and other options as an OEM. So what is OEM? OEM is the original equipment manufacturer. Means that you are the design, you are the designer, and you are the manufacturer of a products, a components. In aerospace, we are talking about aircraft, engine, propellers, and components, valve, pumps, or the system. So if you are the one who design those products and you manufacture them, you are the OEM of the product. So we talk about this, we will discuss how to be one. So this table show us the perspective of the whole uh, framework. You can see on the left box, left column, we have aircraft, engine, propeller. And this aircraft, engine, propeller, the product approval will be the type certificate, and the organization responsible to design is the design organization approval, and the organization responsible for the production is production organization approval. So the product approval, the product airworthiness will be certificate of airworthiness or airworthiness approval for engine and propeller. For aircraft, you will have certificate of airworthiness. Let me repeat. The top one is the products, aeronautical products, aircraft, engine, propeller. Then the product approval will be the type certificate. Then the organization doing the design is design organization and production organizations. And the individual product certification. The declaration of the product airworthiness. For aircraft is certificate of airworthiness. For engine and propeller is airworthiness approval, which we are familiar with EASA Form 1, FA 8130, or DCA Form 1, CA Form 1. But if you are not aircraft, engine and propeller, you are design, manufacture components like seats or instruments, the product approval will be type supplemental order, technical supplemental order, TSO. So this is the approval, and the organization doing it will be the design and production in combination of DOA and POA. So they have DOA function, design function, production function. Then the two combine become technical supplemental order authorization, TSOA. And what is the approval is TSO marking. Every part and component designed to TSO, they are qualified to mark the product with the marking, TSO marking. And they also eligible to issue airworthiness approval in the form of EASA Form 1 from EASA, FAA is 8130, or if it is from Malaysia, it will be CA Form 1. Then piece part. Piece part, there's no approval for piece part. Piece part, for example, is aileron, is flaps, is trim tab. Those are designed, those are manufactured by suppliers of OEM. For example, for aileron, manufactured by a supplier to, if we're talking about Airbus, of Airbus, then supply direct to Airbus, then Airbus will install it. They do not have independent product approval, except they are suppliers. They have suppliers approval to the OEM. So for them to qualify as a supplier, they have to have the quality management system, aerospace standard 9100 for the quality management system, and they must have process approval NETCAP. NETCAP is approval for the process, for example painting, grinding, machining or composite process. So those are NETCAP. And what document to declare the part is acceptable or the part is good is only certificate of conformance. Certificate of conformance, declaration of the parts, piece part was manufactured to the design drawing of the OEM. So this is the whole framework. For if you go back to aircraft engine and propeller, we may have different. There is a design. There must be entity of design approved, and must be entity of production to be approved. So means that there could be independent organization, design and production. However, for large company like Airbus and Boeing, they have the two approval under one company. And for TSO, they have no choice. They have to have the two approval within themselves. So this is the framework of the organization, the framework of the approval, the product approval, the organization making the products, and this is the individual product airworthiness approval.
Prof, question.
Sure.
Okay, so aircraft actuator fall in which category?
Aircraft actuator fall in category, okay, depends. Actuator, you may be no, you have to be actuator part of system. Okay, so you are the suppliers. Okay, you may have your design of actuator, and you have been accepted as supplier to Boeing, Airbus. But your actuator may also be acceptable by other OEM, aircraft OEM, if the system, if they choose your component to be part of the system. So independent part, for example seat, instrument, battery, tires, they can be a TSO part. TSO parts mean the design is approved, production is approved, the parts are qualified to be aircraft part. However, the OEM has to only carry out certification for installations on their aircraft type. For actuator, they are part of the system, so the actuator to be certified as part of the system or the aircraft, then you are just suppliers of parts and components. It's not independent design and manufactured parts. Okay, Razul, clear? Okay, next. So the framework. So this is a framework of the whole system. So the part and component or the aeronautical product is designed by design organization approval. For Malaysia, we have CAA Notice 8401, and the notice for aircraft 8401. You design an aircraft, engine, propeller, you will get type certificate. The type certificate is the product approval. There's two things here, product approval and product airworthiness approval. Product approval means the product has been designed, certified to the design requirement. Airworthiness approval when the parts and component manufactured to the product approval. Then you have airworthy parts. So the DOA will be able to get the TC for the product as a product approval. So DOA is an organization to design, certify product to get product approval. Once you get the product approval, the product will be manufactured by production organizations. So this production organization can be independent organization or can be part of the large company, for example Airbus and Boeing. The production organization is part of the company itself. So it's just a division of the large company. You may also be just a DOA with the type certificate. You do not have any production capability and all the production done by the production organization. It can be done this way. It is a provision for that. So, however, if you are two independent organizations, there must be a contract between DOA and POA. This contract is a privilege by this is a privilege given to DOA to talk to POA to manufacture their products. So this is something that basically for large aircraft we don't really see them in. They have independent division, but they are still under one organization, which is Airbus, Boeing, Embraer, or the other big organizations. Okay, during the production, they have to install parts and component and part and pieces. So they either get part and pieces from their suppliers under the supplier control. So they go source out, they have the drawing, they go source out for the part and pieces to be manufactured by their vendors around the world. So that parts and component, all parts and component made by those manufacturer will be directly goes to the POA. But for certified part and component, for example, tires, seat belts, those are aircraft certified part. Once you have TSO and you are allowed to, you have been approved to mark the part as TSO part, then parts mean qualified for aircraft use, and there's no more certification process on the piece on the components. So the OEM, the production organization buy and install the part. The certification is only on the installations. So the certification is done during DOA. DOA have selected the TSO part. They have done the installation certification, and in a drawing which been given to the POA, the list of TSO item to be installed during the production. However, if the part can be sold direct, so once the organization having the approval for direct shipment, so this organization also, this part and component can be sold direct to aircraft owner and operator as spares. Okay, this option here, they allowed to sell the parts by itself direct to aircraft owner and operator, but not for part and component suppliers approved under POA approval supplier list. They don't have the privilege to do the direct shipment. For the part which has been certified as aircraft part, they have the privilege of direct shipment because the process of certification and manufacturing of the part is under the control of the FAA. So once you have completed part and component, where you have completed aeronautical product, you have completed aircraft, you got the certificate of airworthiness. And if you have completed engine and propeller, you will have 8130 or Form 1. So 8130 is, this is wrong here, 8130 by FAA if the parts from the US, if the part is from the US under FAA approval system, and if the part from Europe is EASA Form 1, in Malaysia is CM Form 1. The format of 8130 and Form 1 are all similar because those formats are already harmonized at the IQ level. So this is a framework. So for any one of you interested to be the manufacturer, you could be a design of aircraft part and component, aircraft engine propeller, or you can be a subcontracted supplier to the production organization, or you choose to design, manufacture aircraft qualified component. Aircraft qualified component is a TSO part. So this is the whole framework. In Malaysia, we do have already the legislation. If you want to be DOA, is Notice A401. You apply for the TC A102. You want to be a production organization, there is Notice 8201. And you also, if you want to apply TSO, you can apply through the Airworthiness Notice 76. So this is the framework. Okay, now what is your interest? Again, DOA, POA, TSOA. So the interest could be DOA is for large aircraft. For small aircraft, there are options. But Malaysia, as far as Notice 818401, does not cater higher than Part 23, mean higher than 57. If you applying for the DOA to the scope of design manufacture of as large as 747, I don't think you get it. Will get the approval because the law has to be changed. Okay, who has a potential? This looking just Malaysia. We are just looking at Malaysia. The potential will be now is very if you this early stage. This early stage of drone and unmanned aircraft system. There's large potential on the area. Or you may go for the CS23, FR Part 23, aircraft below 57, or you may be interested on TSO components. And then if you want to be approved manufacturer suppliers, Malaysia already have a few large approved suppliers. CTRM is very big. We have ACM, we have UMW Aerospace, Spirit Aerosystem, UPECA. Those are approved supplier. They do not have any authority approval. They have the product approval, supplier approval by the OEM. So this is one of the opportunity is a drone. For example, this is the Airbus Skyways. Trial work has been done in Singapore. Is to deliver cargo from ship to shore in Singapore. You may have potential of design manufacture of utility aircraft. This is one example. Gippsland Aeronautics GA8, Avan 8. This is how many seaters? This is was designed by the Australian, now been sold to India. So this is utility aircraft. And you also may want to look into the sport aircraft. This is amphibious icon like sport aircraft. And you also may want to look for those TSO. So this is some list of TSO. There are many other TSO parts. So there are hundreds of TSO parts. This is one of the example here is the TSO by EASA. And fortunately, we do have bilateral airworthiness safety agreement with the FAA. If you design aircraft below 57, if you design manufacture TSO, those part and component and the aircraft can be exported to the US with minimum design review. So this is the advantage. So this is a list of TSO, just part of it. Okay, this is what the Notice 8401. So what we have to start with, you have to be a design organization approver. You must be an approved design organization. So to be approved design organization, you have to look at this requirement 8401, Notice 8401, issue 1 22nd March 2019. So in bracket they call it CM part 21 subpart J. I've been talking about this part 21 subparts the last previous session, so I believe some of you may have the understanding about it already. So this law, as I explained about this notice before, notice are regulations, and if anyone unable to follow or blatantly not following it, you may end up in jail, heavy penalty. Okay, what is the first thing you need to do? You have to apply as a DOA. There's a form. You can get the form from the website of CAA, form CAM /AW/840101 010419. So this is a form, application for design organization approval, CM part 21 subpart J, either initial or you want to renew. So basically for the new organization, you will go for initial. So this is scope. This is very important. So what you can apply, you apply category 1. Category 1 is a TC and TSO. So other than that, not TC. Category 2 are modification, category 3 minor modification. So for you, for applying a type certificate, you must go for category 1. There is option 1A, 1B, 1C. 1A is type certificate applicant or holder of highly complex of large products. So kind of product will be large aircraft, large rotorcraft, small rotorcraft, large unmanned aircraft system or turbine engine. Then if you go for category 1B, the type certificate applicant or holder of complex or small medium product, TSO design approval for APU large. So looking for APU, you have to go for 1B. So kind of product, small aeroplane, very light rotorcraft, small medium unmanned aircraft system, piston engine, large APU, gyroplane. In 1C, type certificate applicant or holder of less complex, very small product, sailplane, very light aeroplane, balloon, propeller, and APU. So this is the category. You have to apply either 1A, 1B, or 1C to be an OEM. So what are required? Okay, what is required? Minimum. I'm going through just some part of it. I'm not going to the detail. I just want to touch on the minimum requirement, the required knowledge for you to hold a DOA. So DOA, you must have an organization. You must be a legitimate company registered in Malaysia. So there are some company with not legitimate. They could be a brand name company. It is just a brand, but the company is registered with different name. So it's not acceptable. You have to apply as what your company has registered. So what you have to have an organization headed by the chief executive officer. And second one is wrong here. This is a mistake. The second box is head of design organization. You can see C2 here. So this box is head of design organization, and we have chief of airworthiness. We have independent monitoring or design assurance on the right box here, and on the left here is a design. So this design function could be subcontracted out. So this is the main function will be this here, box CEO, head of design, airworthiness, and independent monitoring. Under the airworthiness, you have to have compliant verification engineer who will sign off all the design document. So this is a minimum. So minimum for you to be a DOA, you have 1 CEO, 1 head of design, 2 airworthiness, 3 independent monitoring, 4 CVE 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 would be sufficient. The minimum would be the most minimum number for you to be a DOA. your design function, you can subcontract it out. Then what you need to have, you have to have design assurance system, a system where you are able to complete the design process. First will be the product spec. So the product, you must have a spec, and then you have to have a process of this discussion meeting with the Civil Aviation Authority to develop the cert basis. So the box here is environmental awareness and environmental protection requirement. This is the cert basis of the aircraft. Once you have settled this cert basis of the aircraft, you can start doing the detailed design. And detailed design will start with all the design compliant. You have to show compliant to all the requirements by analysis or test, and you have to complete the process until the authority issuing the certificate. So the whole process here is design assurance system. You must develop the process, this process in your quality management system. Next, you have to, this is manual, so everything that you okay, this is the process of completing the document. This process may begin with drawing, and then go to technical document, which is all the reports, and then the show compliant engineer will review and sign out the document, and then end up with compliant verification engineer to check and approve all the documents. So this is the process within the design assurance system. So what DOA doing basically is the generating, developing, generate, develop, and approve engineering data. So those system, those processes, those procedures should be written in the manual, design organization manual. So this is showing the structure of the manual with the chapters and with the contents. The content should have the function, should explain the design, airworthiness, and independent monitoring function. So the three function, these are three function of DOA. It must be written in the manual, and you have to chapter them. So this is basic layout of the design organization manual. Then what is the how to be approved? So it's not so difficult to get approved. First, you must have technical department of sufficient numbers and experience. If you design aircraft, you must have sufficient numbers. For that type of aircraft you want to design, then they must have experience. If you're asking about applying for Part 23 aircraft, at least they have to have the Part 23 design aircraft design experience. And then they've been given appropriate authority, so there is a term of reference for them to work to discharge their responsibility. And then they must have facilities, accommodation, equipment adequate for them to design, to make prototype, to do the testing for the certification. And then there is evidence of full efficient coordination between the department. The manual, the design organization manual, will be able to show with a good written manual, it will be able to show full and efficient coordination between the department. So this is the approval requirement. So it's not difficult. However, all the detail, I think, is a bit tricky. Okay, privilege. What is a privilege? The privilege is you are able to submit compliant document, submit data for type certificate approval. Type certificate, okay, the words here, type certificate, because you are becoming OEM, you are able to submit document for type certificate, and then for TSO. On top of that, you are able to do major design change and major repair approval. So mean that you are the owner of the product, you are the designer of the product, you are the owner of the approval of the product, then obviously you are able to do the modification and you are able to do the major repair and repair. Then the privilege, another privilege which I was talking earlier, to enter into agreement acceptable to the authority for the production of the parts and components. So that is another privilege. So two main privilege as DOA, you are able to apply for the type certificate, to submit document to apply for the type certificate, to submit document to apply for TSO, and you are having the privilege to enter into agreement with the production approval organization to manufacture the part that you have designed and certified. So that is DOA. Now what is POA? POA is a bit simpler. POA, similarly, they must have an organization, they must have quality management system, and they must have adequate facility. If you're talking about building an aircraft, at least they must have hangars. So what will be the organization is simpler. Must have CEO, there is a quality assurance manager, there is a production manager or production director. So 3 person is sufficient for you to apply for a POA. However, you must have robust, you must have complete quality management system, detail on document, on vendor supplier, on verification of part incoming, going out, handling and storage, controlling of design data. Remember, your design data is from DOA, you must diligently control. You must be able to control the design data. You must be able to review the data adequacy. You must be able to update the data. Once the DOA issue new data, revised data, you must have a system to update the data that you have in the factory, in the organization. Then identification of part, you must have a manufacturing process, inspection and testing, calibration, non-conforming, airworthiness coordination with the applicant, records, personal competency, and issue of airworthiness release document. Then handling storage, internal quality audit, you must work within the term of approval, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and work carried out after completion of product prior to delivery. In service feedback is very important. Remember, I was talking about airworthiness directive earlier, so it is very important as part of the continuing service of the product and quality escape. So these all are the quality management system that you must develop in the production organization. So basically, this is the most important part of the POA, is developing a good quality management system to control conformity of the part being manufactured, including their vendors and suppliers. Then TSO again, I was telling earlier, this is they have to have design aspect of it, they must have production aspect of it. So
Prof, question.
Sure.
POA, previous slide. So those POA, the list item that need to comply for POA, that is not limit for new item, right? Is also applicable for repair as well. POA repair.
Repair is no POA. Repair
No POA.
is MRO. POA
Okay.
only
For new component.
new components.
Okay. Understood. Thanks.
Yeah, I think you may be asking about seat cushion, seat covers. Yes, the seat cushion, seat covers basically been repaired. However, they end up as new part. So that's why authorities say that you must have POA for it, because end up, even though they come for repair, but end up with a new piece considered manufactured part. So that's why you have to have POA. For pure repair is inspection. The process of repair is inspection, disassemble, test, assemble, and test. Those are repair. So, and then if you're looking at piece part repair, you bring in part and then you weld them up and then you grind it back to original size. Still repair process, because repair is recover. But production approval is new, start from new piece, raw material, you machine or you laminate them for composite, and you have a new part. So no working on existing part. So that's POA, purely new parts. Okay, next TSOA. Okay, TSOA here we still have this is basically the old format of notice 76. It's issued 2005. However, the content I believe still valid because CA have not issued the new one. So if you're asking for TSO, you are using this notice 76. So you can see here application for design and manufacture of any TSO product. So if you are applying for TSO product, the one that I have shown you earlier, you must go and refer to this notice AN 76. So what is required? You have to require many of these TSO basically design and test, because TSO methodology is conformant to the product performance. So what you see here, there are a lot of tests, and what you need to apply, you have to give a minimum description of the product, drawing reflect the size and weight of the product, technical standard order what you applying for, C29, C169. So there's already list of technical standard order. So this technical standard order are basically referring to another standard, NAS, ASTM, and other standard, ASME. So however, the face document will be technical standard order. So inside there, it may refer other standard, but the technical standard order cover page will explain what the product would be. And then it will be a certification test. What you're going to do, what test you want to do. So you have to develop certification test plan of the product. If you are software, RPR per RTCA DO178 or equivalent requirement, so you have to also show compliant to the appropriate requirement of the software. And you have to do the assessment, safety assessment report, and basically most of TSO you have to go through the test. And this is testing, the testing requirement, what is to be tested, where to be tested, and how you want to approve the test facility, what kind of report, what test plan that you need to develop, who are approving the test plan, who will witness the test. So those are in is part of the TSO. Okay, now I believe I have covered most of it. I covered about DOA, POA, and TSOA, which is combination of DOA and POA. I'm not going to the detail of it because this is very detailed. I just want to show what is available and how to go about it. Okay, now let's look at the current issue. I just put here as an example of drone. Drone will be qualified as TC. As you see the application, there's an unmanned aircraft system there. If you are working on the drone, my interest here, I would like to inculcate I would like to basically educate the people who are design and operating drone. So large drone will have to have a TC, restricted TC. In fact, in the US, as large as 8 pound also, they have issued restricted TC. So the drone is a TC product. So it is an aeronautical product. Drone is an aircraft. Aircraft product approval will be type certificate, and airworthiness approval will be the certificate of airworthiness. So design drone, you must have DOA. To produce drone, you must have POA. To fly drone, you must have AOC, and you must have an organization containing airworthiness management to make sure the drone is always airworthy. There's also an organization to maintain drone and organization to train the personnel, the flight personnel, and the maintenance personnel of the drone system. So this look large, but however, this is the framework. You go through this. However, you may scale down the number of people. It will not be as many as you are applying for design and certify and produce an aircraft. However, the framework is still valid because drone is considered an aircraft. So this is one example. So we cannot use this as TSO because drone is not TSO. If TSO, you can combine the design and production together, become one organization, you call it TSOA. But for drone is an aircraft, so it must be treated like one. So the interest of the drone, if you're talking about the drone, the interest of the drone is not making the production of the drone in volume. You won't get it. The interest is for the operator to have a certified drone, to have a drone which has TC, which is qualified for certificate of airworthiness and can be operated safely into the civil airspace. Okay, now if you want to go further about the supplier does not require approval, direct approval from the authority. It requires approval by the OEM. They will be part of OEM suppliers management system. So they will be a part of subcontractors to OEM. So actually they have established tier 0, 1, 2, 3. This tier also there will be definition of the tier. However, I just want to show what does it mean. There is a term tier 0, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So this could be also vary between OEM to OEM. So tier 1 will be the airframe tier 0 is airframe manufacturer. For example, the Airbus and Boeing, they assemble their own airframe, so there will be tier 0. An aerostructure may be a company making pieces, making wing. So making wing for the aircraft, they could be tier 1. And you may be making flaperon or making panel, you could be tier 3, yeah. Component and part tier 3, but sub-assembly aerostructure like Spirit, they could be tier 2. So this has no authority approval. However, when they are become subcontractor and suppliers to the OEM, OEM will have the type approval and will have the production approval. The authority may also come to them as audit against how well the OEM control their suppliers. So to sample that, they go down to the tier 0 to the tier 3 of the supplier. Okay, that's the end. Anything not clear? So go back to framework again to summarize. So this is a framework. You want to design aircraft part and component. You want to design aircraft, engine, propeller. You have to have a DOA. DOA will be issued with the type approval of the product. And then as a DOA, you are having the privilege to submit document for type certificate. And then also, if you are TSOA, you have the privilege to submit document for TSO products approval. Once you have the approval, one of the privilege is having a contract with the manufacturer to manufacture your parts, your products. Then you go to POA. POA will have to have approval 8201 for Malaysian environment. And then this POA may engage supplier or subcontractor. So these suppliers and subcontractors are not under the authority of CA. It's direct under the control of the POA itself. Then if you are interested in design components, TSO components, you can apply for TSOA, which is combination of DOA and POA, and the process of getting the approval of the product in the CA notice AN76. So this product, when you have TSOA, when you have been approved as TSO product, when your product is approved to be a TSO product, you have the privilege to mark the product with TSO marking, and you are able to supply to POA, or you may also supply direct to aircraft owner and operator, provided the approval of installation has been approved during this installation process by POA. Then you have complete aircraft engine propeller. The or airworthiness approval of the aircraft will be certificate of airworthiness, COA. You can go to notice 8301. For engine and propeller, you have form 1. You can go refer to DCA, CA notice, airworthiness notice 29. Okay, this is a framework. So that's how to be an OEM. Thank you. Short session. Any questions? I think 35 people on board here, so there must be some interest to you. Yes. Any questions?
Saya Hassan,
Hassan dari
SAE.
SAE. Oh, okay. Soalan?
How about approval for prototype production?
Okay. Approval for prototype production.
Yes, for the TC approval, TC process.
Okay. This product prototype is under DOA. So if you are design aircraft, so talk about aircraft, because the DOA issue for design aircraft. So the DOA should have access, should have a place where they are able to manufacture prototype for the testing, compliant test. So they don't have to have POA because they're manufacturing not for mass production, just for the compliant test. However, for most company, they won't be able to get the POA as they have the TC. But they cannot wait to manufacture the aircraft. Obviously, time is money. So as they got the TC, the production approval is not ready yet. The system, the organization, the legislation, Malaysia, even Malaysia, we did it before on SME MD3. US, EASA, most of the country legislation allows production with TC. Production with TC means production of aircraft without having production approval yet. However, you can produce under your TC approval. The problem is the authority has to do everything as far as inspection and everything, most part of the process of manufacturing, production of the part and component and the aircraft. CAA, FAA, EASA or even DCA Malaysia in the past, we have to be there almost every day. So that is the penalty. Am I answering the questions?
Yes.
Okay.
So the approval is under DOA.
The approval for prototype under DOA, yes. Any more questions?
Hello Prof.
Yeah. Siapa? Tak dengar, kuat sikit.
Okay, saya ada question. As a DOA.
Tak clear. Boleh kuat sikit.
Okay, dengar tak?
Kuat lagi ke?
Ha?
Siapa ni? Hello? Hilang lah. Oh, sama ke? Hello? Dah hilang. So I'm not. So what I'm trying to encourage now here is, if you look at this, this is the one that I always dream of, but I don't have the team and I don't have the money. This is the future. Okay, drone. So drone is no longer just a toy flying to carry cameras, but future drone is a transporter. To be a transporter, the drone must be certified. So the drone should be designed, should have at least restricted TC, and should have a special category certificate of airworthiness. for them to be able to fly. Look at this. This is Singapore. They fly from the ship around this. This is a ship here. There is a shore. They're carrying things between the ship into the shore. And this is Airbus. And from my experience designing and manufacture aircraft, this even less complex than what we did design manufacture Eagle and SMB MD3. And I think the system here is not a problem. We have many universities have been developing the system, control system, navigation system, autonomous flight system, everything has been developed. The only thing missing here, the gap, is to certify this for the operation, for commercial operations. And we have means to do that, and I'm willing to help anyone interested, because we are confident. I'm very confident on be able to do it, because actually I was involved in 2 aircraft design and certification program. I was working for the Eagle aircraft. We did design and certify 750 kg very light aircraft, and I was at DCA when we doing the SME MD3. So it's not impossible. Okay, soalan?
Hello, Prof.
Yeah.
One question.
Yeah, Usama.
Usama.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say the organization that designed the drone is an approved DOA,
Yeah.
but they use components like motors, propellers, and ESC from a manufacturer that is not an approved ESOA. Is there any problem in?
No problem. Let me tell you one thing. The Eagle aircraft nose wheel is wheelbarrow wheels. The Eagle aircraft battery is Yuasa motorcycle battery. The SME MD3 fuel pump is Renault car fuel pump. No problem. The only thing is you have to go through the certification process. You must qualify the product as aerospace part. Once you bring it to the aircraft, you change the part number. The only problem about this part is the way they manufactured. If you want to buy more product, and you have to be careful, you have to control their quality, because now you are talking about aircraft part. No problem. Those are under DOA. DOA has privilege to do that.
So you just have to show compliance on the
yes,
parts.
correct.
Okay, Prof.
Okay. Any more?
Okay, Prof.
Yeah.
Saya Aziz.
Aziz,
Okay, saya ada yep, as a
Galaxy.
DOA, bila when we take a product like macam some complex product, macam take the box or casing that to be installed on the aircraft, some of it may require a CNC, some extent of requiring some CNC which are not available by the MRO. So need to hire, do we need to go with the POA for that?
Okay. This is a tricky question. Your DOA is not new, it's not TC. Your DOA limited to modifications. Correct?
Yep.
You have no products.
Yeah, no.
So you're making part. Okay. You are under the category, if you modify the aircraft, you consider as STC holder. So you are not a TC, you are designing part to modify the aircraft. Okay. Now you have the design approval. Do we need production approval? That's a bit tricky, because how many pieces that you want to make? So you need
It's really simple.
you need.
Simple.
Okay, that's the thing, because we don't have STC process in Malaysia. We only have do modification process. So if you have STC process, you have a provision for you to make kits, STC kits. So So I believe you have to negotiate with the authority in this situation, because I know you're making piece part. Maybe you're making electronic box,
Yep,
tray,
yep.
okay,
Yes,
equipment tray,
yes.
right? Then you design, then you have to make the tray, you have to fabricate. The question now, who are approved to fabricate? Who are approved to issue Form 1? Is DOA allowed to do that?
No,
No.
it's POA.
So who can issue Form 1? Can MRO do that? Okay. Now there is in the past, I'm just telling you what we had experienced in the past. In the past, when we did the modification in that kind of situation, in the project certification plan, we already explained who to manufacture and how you control the manufacturer. The manufacturer will be controlled by the DOA. So we have a complete project specification plan, PSCP, project specific certification plan. Inside there, we explain the design, the production, and the assembly of the part. Because if you end up to go to POA, I think it's very tall order. You make one or two part, you end up to be DOA. So that's why you have to apply to CM this in case by case basis, unique to your situation.
Okay.
Oh, clear? I did that. We did that before. I did experience working on the diplomatic locker for the A320 ASEA. There's a past experience. So what we did, everything we put in the PSCP. From the design, DOA is there. Production, they call it like temporary production approval, because we need someone to have the privilege to issue the Form 1.
So that's mean we if there's no other POA, we have to establish our own POA for that, for the temporary.
Okay, if you want to establish your POA just for 2 pieces of part, like I said again, will not be practical.
Yeah.
So, or you go to any organisation who already have POA. Also, I don't think you can find it in Malaysia.
Yep.
And also, if you ask them to do the part, it will be a variant. It will be a additional cap list for them. They have to qualify for it. So that's another process. That's why in the past what we did is we did everything under the DOA system. However, everything is detailed in the project specific certification plan. Yeah, I think you can negotiate with the authority on this aspect.
Okay.
Okay, Aziz?
Yep. Good.
Okay, anyone else? Said Idrus is there. Izami, Amir Imran, Syarul, Ruben, Mr. Ruben, Navin, Cik Izwani, Cik Amir, Cik Saleh. Navin. Hello?
Saleh.
Cik Saleh. Okey.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Salam
Boleh.
sejahtera. Okey.
Boleh. Boleh share experience yang Aziz punya soalan di GCA, macam mana dia treat?
Macam mana tu?
Yang Aziz punya soalan tadi dekat GCAA, macam mana dia handle?
GCA manufacturing is
Advance.
I wouldn't say advanced. There are some suppliers there lah, macam macam Spirit and so on lah.
They already have a company with POA.
POA, I'm not sure whether they do have, but more on suppliers saja.
Aziz Mycopter tadi, Aziz Galaxy tadi punya soalan, kalau dia buat 1 or 2 pieces design part and then kena manufacture.
Yeah.
Then who can manufacture? Takkan dia nak apply POA? So in dulu masa kita buat dalam certification program tu, DOA, POA tu semua, kalau part 2-3 part ni tak ada POA, kita dalam DOA ni sistem, tapi kita tulis dalam report. Kalau GCA macam mana?
GCA manufacturing is not very active.
So siapa yang buat part yang design yang design tu? Katalah
Dia-
ada DOA design, katakan equipment tray lah, design, dapat design equipment tray, nak pasang kat aircraft. Equipment tray tu kena buat. Dan dia kena ada release cert, dia kena ada form 1.
Yeah.
So siapa POA yang nak issue form 1 tu?
What they have done in UAE is for non-critical parts, they have a system called a manufacturing system. It is non-critical part for interior and so on, where they can apply for replacement of parts. They can install mirror.
Under 145?
No, they have a provision under Part 21.
Oh.
No, it's Part 21 is part of the
DOA?
DOA, yeah.
Okay.
It's like a design, it's like a DOA in your function. Cuma dia non-critical parts, mirror lah, all this line.
Okay.
They can manufacture on their own.
Okay.
But
I
it's
think
not valid. It's not valid outside of UAE.
True. I think they are following the new standard by EASA, CS10.
I see.
So I think here the operator, you are the industry, should start talking to authority how best to address this problem. So Aziz, you listening?
So if you go to the UAE GCAA website, you go under their publication and you look for manufacturing process. So there is there are provisions there that how they handle the non-critical parts manufacture to be fitted on aircraft registered in UAE.
Okay.
And from there maybe you can get some ideas how to approach the authority.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Saleh. So anything? You want to say anything?
No, I just wanted to clarify something on the TSO product. Let's say for tires, for example, we can fit any tire with a TSO marking that is the specification is for the aircraft. For example, the SA dulu sign dulu kan. What is required to have Boeing or Airbus?
Okay, TSO product, the product itself is already qualified for aircraft use.
Okay.
The problem remain is the installation approval.
Okay.
So that's a problem with the tire. For the tire, you need to go talk to Boeing, say, can I bring the tire to you and you certify with your aircraft, then you put it in your product list. That's the issue.
Okay. It involves commercial as well.
It's involved commercial, whether Airbus, Boeing would like to entertain or not.
Okay.
Similarly with the seats, some seats are already listed as part list in the aircraft type.
Yeah.
If you choose your own seat, the OEM, the Airbus for example, they will not put it in your own type. They say this is modification. Either you pay them to certify it with EASA, or you fly the aircraft home empty, no seat, you certify in your country for the installation of the seat. But the seat itself is already a TSO, it's aircraft part. It already passed the 16G's test. However, the installation to the aircraft, that's a problem. Not a problem, that's another process has to be done. Either been absorbed by the Airbus. If you buy aircraft like AirAsia, maybe you will be entertained. But if you just buy 2 aircraft and you wanted to install your own seat, either you have to pay Airbus to work with EASA to get the certification, or if you pay also, because the time consumed in doing the work, maybe Airbus also did not agree, then they said fly the aircraft empty back to home country and settle in your home country. So that's status of TSO. So there's a challenge basically on TSO parts, the approval for design for installation.
So back to that topic just now, the one that you asked, what is the UAE DCAA approach for the non-critical part. If you go to their website and the publication, the requirement is called Manufacturing Organization Approval, MOA. It's an non-critical part manufacturing.
So you need to have approval.
You need to have approval from DCAA, and the release is done through a form that is been created by the Part 21 group of DCAA. They call it a Form 299. It's not a Form 1.
It's not Form 1. So mean not qualified, because Form 1, if you issue Form 1, qualified throughout the world.
No, it's not for outside of UAE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair, it's fair. Mean there's a system. They don't
Yes,
just let
yes.
people do it as they like. Okay.
Oh, no. I was not. This is under Part 21, so it's not 145 group.
Yeah.
But that's the way they approach it. So if anybody is interested, have a look at the MOA, see how they approach non-critical parts.
You may recommend that to a Malaysian CA.
Yes, have a look at it.
Okay, Aziz listening? Michael,
Yeah, I'm listening.
listening, yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Michael Prof.
Ya, siapa?
Rami.
Ha?
Hizami.
Izami. Dia dari mana?
Saya IT teknologi lah.
RT
Kerja kat
Teknologi.
situ.
Okey.
Saya ada soalan simple dia. In terms of human resource tu kan, perlu ke designer tu jadi certified professional engineer ataupun yang bukan certified pun boleh buat?
Okey, kita kena tengok how do you understand this design engineer. Okay, design you can see, let me show you back to the design is a label. Dia is not approval. Okay, let me go back. Start now. Okay, let's go back to the chart. Okay, there is the person who doing the approval is a compliant verification engineer. This person is approved signatory, approved by the CAA. This person must be having sufficient experience to be approved as approved signatory. You have to pay fee RM125 as a approved signatory with the authority. So the design, the detailed design, the basic design, the drawing, the 3D modeling, all the FEA, FEM, whatever analysis you want to do, those subcontracted out, they do not have to have any approval, because the person will be doing the approval is the compliant verification engineer and head of awareness and head of design. Whether they must be a PEng or not, no. PEng is not valid in this environment. However, there's a law. You graduate and you claim yourself work as an engineer, you must register with the board, or else there will be a penalty.
I see.
So that is as engineer if you claim yourself as an engineer. Okay.
Alright. Thank you, bro.
Welcome. Any more? If not, I may end the session. Thanks again for listening, and it will be your group are very supportive, and it's always be more than 30 participants every night. Thanks a lot for the effort. I really appreciated that. What I want to do, I just want to share experience of what we did in the past. Nowadays we don't have that much experience because we don't design, we don't build aircraft anymore. So Cik Saleh also in the group here listening. He also my partner. He was actually my senior when I was at CA. So we're doing a lot of things: design, certification, production approval. So we have at that moment the experience, opportunity to engage in the aircraft design certification. And we also have the opportunity to be trained with FAA, to be trained by Shaw Brothers, to be trained by CAA UK. So what I'm trying to do is to share what we have learned in the past, so at least the younger generation be able to appreciate or be able to understand what's have been done. But unfortunately, you'll not be able to experience in real life because no project at the moment. I hope whatever we try to transmit that across is beneficial to you all. Thank you.